SHELLY KREHBIEL holds an MFA from Antioch University, Los Angeles. Her poems have found homes in the Midwest Quarterly, Sulphur River Literary Review, the Fourth River, and others. Her poem, May, was a finalist for the 2015 Lois Cranston Memorial Poetry Prize. She is a member of the Red Sofa Poets and likes vanilla ice cream.
Bridget Eugene Kelly. This is one of her poems. She passed away earlier this month. Her work is very earthy, and I can relate to it, the mystery of it. So I wanted to give you the satyr's heart. Now I rest my head on the satyr's carved chest, the hollow where the heart would have been if sandstone had a heart, if a headless goat man could have a heart. His neck rises to a dull point, points upward to something long gone, elusive at his feet. The small flowers swarm, earnest and sweet, a clamor of white, a clamor of blue, and black the sweating soil they breathe in. If I sit without moving, how quickly things change. Birds turning tricks in the trees, colorless birds and those with color, the wind fingering the twigs and the furred creatures doing whatever furred creatures do, so and so. There is the smell of fruit and the smell of wet coins. There is the sound of a bird crying and the sound of water that does not move. If I pick a dead iris, if I wave it above me like a flag, like a blazoned flag, my fanfare, little fare with which I buy my way, making things brave, no, that is not it, uncovering what is brave. The way now I bend over and with my foot turn up a stone, and there they are, the armies of pale creatures who without cease or doubt sow this sad, sweet earth. So for the first of my poems, I wanted to read one that's come to mean to me both a gift of blessing and an offering. It's written for a piece of my favorite music by Arvo Part. And so this is Cantus in memory of Benjamin Britten. And you should check out the song if you've not heard it. There must be a God who wants this from me, this memory of grief only bones can bear. This child, the one I was, following promises, finding blood, who even wants this damp grass, these eggs, this broken hum. So Red Sofa will tell you I write a lot of sonnets. Form is where I go when I need some help, and sometimes it gives me great gifts. Also, this time of year especially, there's a lot of spiders, right? Do you know the yellow sac spider, the one that nestles itself up in your corner? Well, this is kind of for her. She might not like it. Strands of web and scar. Grandmother forgets where I live, always asks why I live far away. Her red barn, green carpet, purple glass are tucked in the sack at the meeting of ceiling and wall. Clean, ambidextrous white takes both my hands, feels for a ring. She asks where the man is, why I don't speak of the child she says conceals its teeth inside me. She remembers wide ditches, the woman I loved, the visions of hell I caused her to see. She spins prayers into daughters I'll never hold and sons wrapped in terrifying light. Tonight, hers are the words I weave into my pale nest. No eggs to startle, just venom, hunt, breath. So almost 15 months ago, maybe 16 months ago, I moved into my very first house. That I love, and it has a wonderful garden, and I'm learning so many things, and it gives me poems too. So this is pruning. Is it supposed to hurt? All those cuts, branches in piles, vines tangled in dry, dismembered dances. Green and brown trade places. I'm supposed to trust. The shears, the gloves, 45-degree angles, every breaking opens more of the sky. I've broken so many things. I'm supposed to choose the sharpened blades, the metallic taste of sap dripping through new scars. Harvest is every cut. Thinning apples. Leave one where there were 5 before, 6 inches the recommended distance between each fruit. I'm careful, but sometimes the whole cluster comes off in my hand. I dream 2 boys in an abandoned car. The seats are beige. I ask if someone is coming for them. They only see me. I'm careful, but they disappear. I was about to hand them apples. I dream 2 black kittens in an old shed. I crawl after them. The floor is wooden. I reach for them. Their eyes are shut. I'm careful, but sometimes the whole cluster comes off in my hand, gets tossed into a bucket with all the small unchosen. I know it's there and I really want to read this next one. This is Eden. The plum is such an earnest prophet. I am just its purple thief. I want to steal, to feel that moment when hidden turns to sunlight shattering. I don't want to, but I close my eyes, taste a sacred darkness, swallow. This year I've been really grateful to Red Sofa because I've had a lot of trouble writing, and showing up every 2 weeks is a good reason to write something. I've also spent a lot of time just looking at anxiety in general and spending some time with it, and so this next couple of poems has a little creepiness factor. It's almost Halloween, right? Every gift isn't a blessing. First drafts never start black and blue, shaking in a closet with a knock or an intentional wave. Sins are born green, like snap peas and nightshades. A woman who knows names I've never told anyone drops papers in the street. Crows don't come, rain doesn't burn. Wings scruffle the vines, branches speckle. The azalea's leaves are sick, fuzzy, I want to catch them. Instead, I find silverware, a green straw. I should try the radio instead of waiting for Philip Glass. I should just use cinnamon, settle for salt. She's not watching. Even when I've taken off everything, pressed my back against the bark, asked for the gun. Light catches the screen. Wind hovers. The bedroom door is tilted slightly. I want to close it. Does anyone know Keats's Lamia? That long poem. I studied it in my undergrad and sort of fell in love with it. And my thesis was that the Lamia was for Keats, the muse. And so I'm very attached to that idea of this lovely, beautiful, terrible, terrifying thing as the muse. So this is Phantom. Does my hair always look like this? I don't remember it tangled, how it stares back, how the water runs through it, over it, underneath. She wants me to drink it, to drown. It's wet and tangled. Rain isn't rain, it's ice. Even the rats underneath the shed know not to close their eyes. My eyes haven't been closed for 3 nights. Can't stop watching her, the way the red glances back. Sometimes it's golden. Sometimes I turn off the lights. How could I forget the lights, the desire for pavement, the yellow broken lines? Brown leaves crack, take it, just a little too fast. The rats hide everything except their teeth. She's taken my hair, tied it up. She's taken my wrists, traced the lines between my fingers, sung. Glaciers calve, vibration breaking into splash. The seams, the creases, that's where the blood comes. That's where the water isn't quite enough. I hate that it's getting darker, but it's going to get darker and darker. Solstice. So much night is coming, and all I see is bright. Spattered light tatters naked trees. I'm stuck, staring at the rented movie in my hand. The white splashes could be anything. I didn't notice, pulling it out of the machine. Red label, clear case, dry stains of a once splattered something. How long have I been holding it? A smear has to be touching my hand. Where can I set it down? Should I return it? It's best to be still. Let this be present. To try breathing, wait until it recedes, but this is how the longest night arrives. A touch, a careless grasp, a suicide, a smudge. Leave the lights off. Whatever's dark is hidden. Hidden's not my fault. It won't be my fault if I don't see the brown spot on the baseboard or the carpet or pressed into the seam of the couch or the mattress or the places chair legs meet chairs. I won't get Scotch tape, remove it carefully, go to the bathroom light. I won't use the magnifying app to take pictures, Google images of bedbugs and lice. I won't see pictures of various insects laid against dimes for sizing, won't look for a dime. I won't research exterminators, decide to call, not call, call, not call, call, not call, not call. I won't keep asking, should I have called? I won't wash it down the drain. Why did I wash it down the drain? If I hadn't, I would know it was a bit of cat litter, a remnant of bark mulch, an innocent other bug that doesn't ruin everything, doesn't make home, myself, my touch into infestations for strangers, for anything and everyone I love. I love you. I used to trust suns and moons and bees. Leave the lights off. Please. So this one is very, 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 very new. And I'm reading it for Tony, who recognized that it can be read in multiple directions. And so I created, it is a sonnet, but I broke it in the lines so that it looks like a box, because I felt like that might be fun. So reading it in multiple directions wasn't quite good enough for me, so I had to create a second sonnet that worked sort of as a sonnet, but still was sort of a twisty-turny version of the first one. So I'm not sure any of it makes sense at all, but it's got some pretty pictures and it sounds nice. So this is Brave. 1. Her opposite. The one snakes leave lying in the grass, the one who practices knives, whose thumbnail presses her hand precisely in its center, who begs for any Christ to take her brittle blood. But she bruises. She bruises this one, doesn't remember how purple came to her, how it dreamed 2 pigeons caught in her hair. It's September. Rain on the steps. She sits in the green chair, answers the questions, opens her hands, palms whole, despite how knuckles and fingertips tear in so much water. She tries a door, stops at the knob, is prompted to breathe. Again. She closes her eyes, touches, turns, looks in. 2. Her opposite in the grass, the one whose practiced thumbnail presses her hand, its center, begged to take her brittle blood and bruises. She bruises this one. Purple comes to her, dreams pigeons caught in her hair. Rain runs off steps, answers her questions, opens her tight hands wholly. So much water. At the knob, she's prompted to breathe. She closes her eyes, touch, turn, look in. Again, she tries a door, stops, despite how knuckles and fingertips tear palms. She sits in the green chair, looks for September. She will not remember this. She bruises for any Christ, knows precisely which knives, the ones these brave snakes leave lying. And I want to end with a poem that I got from a moment of learning the lesson, which I'm still learning, that we all have to get lost in order to be found. This is a poem that ends up for lots of people, probably primarily my father, one of the most complex figures in my life, but also that essential something that some people would call God, and for the first years of my life was very intermingled with what my father's image was. And I am no longer an old guy in the sky God believer, but I do believe in a God that is some kind of essential something, and I've found myself finding my way back to that. So this is Prodigal. Don't ask me to explain. It was dark. The highway was a kind of path. The moon promised nothing. That felt good. Sometimes it's not a choice. Orion watches behind shifting clouds. The road ends in blackberry branches. Now yellow jackets hum over fall brown grass, hover so close they move pieces of leaves with just their wind. And here you are, your hands in your pockets, your cap dusty.